Heyhoo und willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Genshin Impact. Es geht weiter. Es geht natürlich weiter mit der Verhandlung. Uns fehlt ja eine Sache noch, ne?
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Ah, okay, ich soll wirklich einen anderen Pfad da nehmen.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
Okay.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Eben.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Aus dem Wassertank verschwunden. Stimmt, wie ist die da verschwunden? Könnte es das Wasser gewesen sein?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Einspruch! Wartet!
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Ja.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Ja.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Mir hat nur das letzte gefehlt. Das Wasser. Hatte ich gerade gesagt, das Wasser?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Okay. Ich weiß zwar nicht, was da ein Hinweis sein soll, aber okay. Es gibt eine Wahrheit und wir finden sie.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
Okay.
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Ah, jetzt. Okay.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh mein Gott, was?
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Ich bitte um eine Untersuchung von Cowells persönlichen Gegenständen. Vielleicht finden wir etwas.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lyney already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
Okay.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
Danke.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
Irgendwo muss die Wahrheit existiert irgendwo und wir werden sie finden.
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Ja.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Du nimmst das nur als Argument, weil wir gerade am Gewinn sind.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowl.
Kurz darauf kehrt ein Gendarm mit Neuigkeiten zurück.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Oh, jetzt kommt's. Jetzt kommt's nämlich, ne? Was wird Furina jetzt sagen?
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowl's baggage, each labeled separately.
Oh mein Gott, stell dir mal vor, diese ganzen Labels sind Namen von den Entführten.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
Hä?
The primordial sea.
Das Urmeer.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowl belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
Was?
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Aha.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Oh.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Hä?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowl was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Okay.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
Ja, aber was, wenn die denn bitte jetzt Wasser ist? Und zwar das Wasser in dieser Vase.
Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Okay.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
Stimmt, ich hab's komplett vergessen.
Let's think about this. Cowl's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Muss ich mir jetzt schon wieder was... Wasser des Urmeers. Eine Flüssigkeit, die von der Gendarmerie in Cowls Gepäck gefunden wurde. Sie scheint die Fähigkeit zu haben, Menschen aus Fontaine in Wasser aufzulösen. Wer ist der derzeitige Hauptverdächtige?
The deceased's name is Cowl.
Cowl. Welches Hilfsmittel hatte der Täter zur Verfügung, um den Zeitpunkt des Auflösens zu kontrollieren?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Welches Hilfsmittel zur Verfügung, um den Zeitpunkt des Auflösens zu kontrollieren?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box. I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
Nein, oder? Also sie hat halt schon ein paar Andeutungen gemacht, aber... Welche Hilfsmittel hatte der Täter zur Verfügung, um den Zeitpunkt des Auflösens zu kontrollieren?
I remember there was something else within the inner...
Ich sag mal kurz das, keine Ahnung. Mit welchem Hilfsmittel hat der Täter her sie aufgelöst?
The water from the primordial sea
Das weiß ich ja. Mit welchem Hilfsmittel hat der Täter den Mechanismus, mit dem das Verbrechen gegangen wurde, versteckt? Mechanismus?
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. I remember there was something else within the...
Okay, weil das...
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the...
Versteckt. Irgendwas war da, ne? Dann so? Ja! Wir sind so gut! Oh, ich dachte, es würde wieder ewig dauern. Ich liebe es, ich will mehr davon.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Hat sie gerade Ace gesagt? Ace Attorney! Räusper? Okay.
In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Als der Zauberschrank, in dem Halsey sich befand, abgesenkt wurde, zog sich der Metallhaken langsam zurück. Da waren ja Ballons drin. Bis der Ballon oben auf den Schrank zum Platzen. Genau, und da war dann diese Urwasser und das Ding. Und sie hatte dann Wasser
When the
verwandelt.
balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage.
Oh, aber... Das Wasser in dem Wassertank hat aber nichts damit zu tun, oder? Ist er dann überhaupt gestorben dabei? Oder war das jetzt wirklich nur Zufall? Oder wieso ist er dann dabei gestorben, wenn das so durchdacht wurde von ihm?
But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Ja.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Ah, interessant. Diese zwei Seiten von ihr.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cowl's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Aber ist das dann Lynette?
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Lyney's personal effects.
What?
Oh mein Gott, Lynette!
That can't be.
Aber die Reaktion war mal komisch jetzt.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you.
Oh mein Gott, ey, ihr gibt so viele Plot-Twists.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Aber was willst du jetzt zusammenreimen? Ah, okay, Widerlegung beginnt.
Lyney did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Ja.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Lyney?
Nein.
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
Oh. Achso, oh, stimmt, wir haben ja ganz schön viel.
Is this the end of the road?
Navia ist doch gerade losgegangen. Vielleicht hat sie was für uns.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
Wir brauchen neue Beweise.
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Das werden wir noch sehen. Oh.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Was ist jetzt los?
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Okay.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Was?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
Hä?
Do the honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
But what in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion.
Hä?
But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again?
Was Navia damit sagen will, das sehen wir in der nächsten Folge von Genshin Impact. Ich hoffe, also es sind jetzt ungefähr 19 Minuten gerade beim Aufnehmen. Aber egal, bis zum nächsten Mal und tschüss.